Hello dear students, this is Mr. Sanjay Kumar. Welcome back in the online learning series of Chawra English Medium School, Shahada. Dear students, this is the second part of lesson number 8, an ideal ruler. Let us introduce what did we learn in the previous part of this lesson. In the first part of this lesson, we learn that how Shivaji Maharaj struggled for the foundation of Swaraj. While struggling with the enemies like the Siddhi, the Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, like this. They were very powerful rulers and Shivaji Maharaj fought with them very courageously. While fighting, he had faced a lot of problems, the grave dangers in his life. He faced many grave dangers in his life. For example, the meeting with Afzal Khan, siege of Pandhala, attack on Shaisty Khan, escape from Agra, and so on. Such a number of examples we can give. These were the grave dangers. And Maharaj took great amount of risk of his life while struggling with his enemies for the foundation of Swaraj. This we had learned in the previous part of this lesson. Again, in this lesson, in the previous part, we also understood the great qualities of Shivaji Maharaj. One of them is organizational skill. He had great organizational skill. It was unparalleled. He was a source of inspiration for all the people in the Swaraj. He used to inspire for the work of Swaraj to all the people in his kingdom. That's why all the people, all his companions, his associates, they were ready to do everything. Even they were ready to sacrifice their lives. There are many examples. We can give many examples who were ready to sacrifice their lives. For example, Jiva Mahala, Shiv Kashit, Baji Prabhu Deshpande, Tanaji Malusare, and so on. These people, his associates, were ready to sacrifice their lives for the cause of Swaraj and for their king. So dear students, in this way, in the previous part, we studied some of the great qualities of Shivaji Maharaj. Now, in this part of the lesson, we are once again going to study some of other great qualities of Shivaji Maharaj from some of the points. So let us get more information about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj from the point caring for the ryot. Dear students, the word ryot, it means farmer. We know that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had struggled constantly for establishing Swaraj against enemies. When he struggled with such enemies, at the same time, the subject were also suffering a lot due to many reasons. Sometimes they were suffering from the enemy invasions, from the attack of the enemy soldiers. In such a condition, Maharaj used to take utmost care of the farmers. When Shaisty Khan entered into the Pune province, he gave the order to his soldiers to go into the Swaraj region and destroy the territories, trouble the people, those who live in the Swaraj. In such a situation, Shivaji Maharaj won the Deshmukh of Roida Valley not to fail in their duties towards the farmers, towards the subject in Swaraj. He told them clearly to visit at the different villages and shift all the villages, all the people from their place to the safe place down the ghat. He strictly warned not to delay even for the moment. Shivaji Maharaj further told if they didn't perform their duty, if they didn't take care all these farmers, then Mughal would take these people into the prison and it would be seen as if Deshmukh's doing. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj also saw that the soldiers didn't cause any harm to the farmers. In that time, some soldiers used to interfere in the process of sowing, growing and reaping of the crops. They used to come and destroy the farm. They even used to cut the standing crops and they were taking away that crops from the farm of the farmers. In such a condition, Shivaji Maharaj strictly warned the soldiers to stop such all the actions. He warned them not to do such a things. In this regard, Shivaji Maharaj wrote a letter to one of the military officers in 1674. In this letter, Shivaji Maharaj told clearly that if you harass and trouble the subject, the farmers, by stealing their grains, fodder, grass, vegetables, etc., then these people would migrate somewhere else. They would leave their houses and they would go somewhere else. As a result, they would suffer even to death. So, Shivaji Maharaj clearly warned all the soldiers not to trouble the farmers. Dear students, from this we understand that how much Shivaji Maharaj was taking care of his subject. Now, let us understand his policy regarding the army. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj maintained strict discipline in his army. He was very much particular about his army. He started to pay salary of the soldiers in cash. He made arrangement like this that the soldiers were paid in cash. But during that time, in various kingdoms, there were the system of making the payment in the form of jagirs, watans, gifts, etc. The soldiers were given such a salaries in the form of the watans, gifts or jagirs. But Shivaji Maharaj had stopped that system and started a new tradition in which he used to pay salaries in cash to the soldiers. Any valuables which were collected during the campaign in the enemy territories, then such a valuables were deposited into the government. Such orders were given to the soldiers that if they come across such a valuables, then they should deposit that with the government. Soldiers were honored for their bravery. Shivaji Maharaj looked after the maintenance of the families of the soldiers who died in the battle. He took a lot of care, even the soldiers who were injured in the battle. He treated even the enemy soldiers respectfully. The soldiers who had surrendered themselves in the battle. The soldiers who had been captured by him, everyone was treated properly by Shivaji Maharaj. From this, we understand that how much Shivaji Maharaj was paying attention towards his own soldiers as well as his enemy soldiers. Now, let us get information about a policy of tolerance. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great warrior and he followed a tolerant religious policy. He treated equally all the religious people in his kingdom. He gave respect, he gave importance to all the people, all the religious people in his kingdom. That's why he framed strict rules for the soldiers. He ordered to give respect to all the religious places. He told that the soldiers should not harm such a religious places. If they came in contact with a copy of Holy Quran, then that copy of Holy Quran should be handed over to the Muslim with equal respect. He considered all Muslims as his subject. There were many Muslim soldiers in the army of Shivaji Maharaj. For example, Siddhi Ibrahim was a trusted servant in his army. Siddhi Hilal was a Sardar in the army of Shivaji Maharaj. Another example, Daulat Khan. He was an important navy officer in the Swaraj. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great source of inspiration. He founded Swaraj, the self-rule, and turned that Swaraj into Suraj. By establishing Swaraj, he created an independent sovereign state, such a state where there was no dominance of foreign rule. He also inspired others for freedom. For example, Chhatrasal. He was in the service of Mughals. But when Chhatrasal came to meet Shivaji Maharaj, Shivaji Maharaj told him to create an independent state in Bundelkhand. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj struggled hard against his enemies while establishing Swaraj. This itself shows that he was a pioneer of a new era. He was a founder of a new era. Besides this, many other great qualities are found in his personality. He was very intelligent. He was mastered in many arts. He knew many languages and script. He had innumerable qualities like leadership, management, foresight, political diplomacy, administration skill, commitment to truth and justice, attitude of equality, visualization of future activities, rising over calamities without giving up, alertness and so on. Dear students, all his qualities makes him an ideal ruler. Even when we struggle for getting freedom for our country, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great source of inspiration for the people. Mahatma Jyotirao Phule described his greatness in his poetas. Lokmanya Tilak also brought national awakening by starting Shiv Jayanti celebration. The great Tamil poet Subramanyam Bharati wrote a poem in which Shivaji Maharaj talks to his associates. Vishwakavi Rabindranath Tagore has written a long poem on Shivaji Maharaj. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister, has said that Shivaji Maharaj didn't belong to Maharashtra alone. He belonged to the whole nation. He was a symbol of many virtues. In this way, future generation will continue to look upon him as a source of inspiration and as an ideal ruler. Thank you.